we'll be here as long as it takes, and we don't mind fighting until it's over, or we die. Whichever comes first.
Today, we're learning more about the 2 Americans killed this week during an intense battle with Russian forces in eastern Ukraine.
Like, you are going to lose friends. Absolutely.
My job is here now. This is my home.
Rare look at an elite group of American veterans, some former special forces, medics now operating near the front lines.
I truly believe this fight is the physical embodiment of everything that we claim to hold dear in the West.
Almost since the start, American volunteers have been on the front lines fighting for Ukraine. And there's no exact count of how many, but the number of Americans killed and missing in action is growing.
You know, we're defending the ideas of the United States of America. We're defending the ideas of Europe. We're defending everything that America stood for.
So we're here at the Azov International Brigade. I'm going to sit down with 2 Americans and a Norwegian. I'm really curious to see why it is that they chose to come here and fight for Ukraine, what life is like in an international battalion that's pretty integrated with the Ukrainian unit, and where do they see this fight going into the future?
I just want people to know that this is extremely important work. We're not just here on some war tourist thrill-seeking thing. If that was the case, I would have went home after my first 6 months.
I'm tired. Everybody's tired. All my friends are tired. Not that we want to stop, but in the sense that we would like to see a victory.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Norah O'Donnell in Washington, and we are coming on the air because the war in Ukraine has begun. Just minutes after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a special military operation in eastern Ukraine, explosions were heard in Kyiv.
I'm here because in 2022, when the full-scale invasion started, I was still on contract in the U.S. Marines, and a lot of us thought we were going to respond to the Russians' full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I actually considered going AWOL to come fight. I was in contact with the Ukrainian embassy. I had an ex-girlfriend at the time that told me to just wait out my contract. In late 2023, my contract was finished, and in the beginning of 24, I got here.
And what made you decide to drop everything and come?
Well, I mean, I don't know, I get asked this question a lot, and I never can really give like a heartfelt answer, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do, you know. A lot of what Ukraine stands for and what they believe and what they're fighting for now is what the United States represents. So we kind of share the same values in that sense, and if the United States was at war, obviously, then I would be there. So the fact that another country is fighting for the same values that we represent is only natural to come here.
How many buchas are there? You know, we are waking up to these scenes this morning, Berman, that are just atrocious. We have seen so many terrible things coming out of this war, and just when you think it can't get any worse, you see what is happening there.
I've been here over 3 years, nonstop. I have not seen my family. It's because we're completely 100% dedicated to this cause, because orcs are fucking evil. They're the worst type of people on the planet, and they will not stop. They will continue rolling through every town. They will kill children. They will kill old people. They will rape the women. They're just the scum of the earth, and it's very important that somebody stands in their way so that they don't get to the people who don't want to participate in this.
Civilian casualties are mounting after one of the most horrifying attacks yet. Russian bombs hit a maternity ward and children's hospital. Ukrainian President Zelensky called the attack an atrocity.
This cause, I truly believe, is really like the physical embodiment. This fight is the physical embodiment of everything that we claim to hold dear in the West. So we have a sect of people that so badly want to be part of the West and are begging for our help, fighting for the values that we claim to understand and be like the personification of. And I have the skill and nothing's stopping me. Why wouldn't I? I remember when I was making the decision to come over here, my buddy had called me and asked if I would come help. And I had already thought about it prior. And I told him, like, yeah, of course, you know, just without thinking. And then I remember the first couple of days, you know, I was terrified. I was like, why did I agree to that? You know, I was like, why would I say yes to that? And I was just imagining the fighting that he was doing and the things he was suffering through, knee-deep in snow and mud in a trench, fighting the Russian army, of all things. And the fact that he could be here defending the ideals that I hold dear and claim to hold dear, even though it's not his place either, and the fact that I'm not doing that, it didn't sit right with me. Like, I couldn't sleep. And after seeing like the children's hospital get bombed in Mariupol, and then when I first arrived to Ukraine a few months later, the Akhmedit hospital got hit. All of these things just kind of like confirmed this is where I was supposed to be, and this was a cause worth dying for. If that's understandable.
You know, they're striking civilian targets on a daily basis, large amounts with Shaheeds, with rockets, with everything you can imagine. These are not military targets, these are civilian targets. And this in itself is a war crime.
Is this a line in the sand for you?
Which
here? If we don't stop them here, are they coming for America?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure America is realistic, but Europe and NATO itself is pretty obvious what their intentions are.
The world looks on as Russian President Vladimir Putin launches a full-scale attack on Ukraine. And now it's becoming clear that he intends to use his country's military might in a bid to rewrite European history.
Mr. Putin has territorial ambitions beyond Ukraine. Do you view that in the same way?
Possible. I mean, it's possible.
Is there anything that gives you optimism about this war?
This, like, I think before 2022, Ukraine was like 35th on the list of world militaries, something like that. Some super insignificant, like, second world power style army, post-Soviet, classic post-Soviet army. And the Russian army, who's supposed to be number 2 in the world, invaded almost 4 years ago now, and we're still holding. The borders haven't changed much since 2014. We are holding. We've killed maybe 1 million Russians, which was horrible, but had to happen for this to happen, for us to still be holding the line. We pushed the Russians out of Kyiv. We pushed them primarily out of Kharkiv. We pushed them out of Sumy and out of Chernihiv. And now the line is not much different than it was before. And we're fighting the Russian army, undermanned, underfed, and under-equipped, and we're doing well. That's what gives me optimism, is that, like, we're still holding. I mean, it gets pretty desperate at times, but there's really no excuse for this. Like, the Russians did very, very badly, and we did very, very well, and that's what gives me hope.